Welcome everyone to the USA Archery Indoor National Final from the NFA Easton Archery Center in Yankton, South Dakota, where the stage is set for 5 USA Archery Indoor gold medal matches in the compound women's category, compound men, recurve women, recurve men, and barebow open coming at you. Hello everyone, I'm Greg White. Sitting alongside me is, well, this is Rio Wild, and in his career, he's 14-time world champion. He's the latest winner of USA Archery's Outdoor National in Ohio. What can you say about Rio Wild? But Rio, we're getting the stage set for the compound women and compound men, and it's going to be exciting. And we've had quite an exciting time here in Yankton, South Dakota over the last, since Monday? We've been here all week long shooting tournaments?
Yeah, it's been something else.
It's quite spectacular here for this USA Archery Indoor National Final for 2020. So we're ready to get archers to the field of play as we have 2 targets set up in the middle of the NFA Easton Archery Center here in Yankton, South Dakota, facility that is available to the general public. You can come and check it out. We'll talk more about that, but we are definitely ready to get going for our first 2 archers that'll be taking the field for the gold medal match. Closest archer on your screen is Paige Pierce, 25 years old from California, and she'll be shooting off against Alexis Ruiz, your world #1 in world archery, 21 years old from Phoenix, Arizona. So a good look at the targets set up, the USA Archery / World Archery vertical face targets for compound. And Rio, the 10 ring is that they have to hit is about the size of what, a nickel?
About the size of a penny. A little smaller than a nickel, but not as small as a dime. So it makes it a little challenging. I mean, 20 yards, it's hard to do.
And the distance they're shooting is 20 yards, 18 meters.
Yeah.
About the same. So as Paige and Alexis are ready, we're going to send our judge out onto the field of play along with coaches in the coaching box. All right, Rio.
It's going to be a good one. These two have met each other a couple of times. I mean, I know Macau, they met each other. So they've had some good matches, and it's been kind of, I think it's a back and forth as to who wins. It's been a real, because like I said, you got 2 of the top archers in the world, with Alexis being #1, Paige being #3. They've faced each other a few times, and it should be a really good match.
All right, so this is the 2020 USA Archery Indoor National Final, and the reason it's the final is there are 13 different locations done throughout the winter, and of course, because of the COVID situation and things shutting down, this was delayed till this point. So you had, in the compound women's category throughout the United States, you had 471 women that were competing, and Alexis Ruiz was your #1 qualifier at scoring out of 1,200 points, 1,185. That's your world #1. Paige Pierce was actually their 2nd place qualifier. They came in here in a battle of 8, and now we get our first arrow of competition. Alexis Ruiz on target #1, which is on the left. Tell us, Rio, what's that?
That's a 10. Anything that touches the line gets the higher value. So it puts a good, walking out on the stage, the hard part is getting that first arrow down there and knowing where your sight's going to impact and everything's set. So that's a good sign for both of them.
You see bottom of the 10 ring, as long as it cuts that line, she gets the higher value. So far for Alexis Ruiz, it looks like 10-10.
And Paige it's really cool to see Paige in here. She's been playing with a different release the last couple of days. She just decided to go to a different one. That feel was a little different, so she's been getting used to it. So it's good to see that under pressure she's been able to handle it. Oh, and that one opens the door a little bit. Let's see if Paige can capitalize, because that could be a good, get out of the gate and give you a little lead. Can help with the nerves a little bit. And so, yeah, she does. That gives you that little breathing room to start with.
Yeah, for Alexis Ruiz, that bottom target, she pushes it out left. That's going to score 9 points. So anything inside the yellow is 9, with the exception of that very center bit that's about the size of a penny. That's worth 10. And then you have the red rings, which are worth 8 points, 7 points, and then 6 for the blue.
And it doesn't take a real bad shot to get there. With that 10 ring being the size of a dime, it can really be just out, just a hair. and give it a mediocre shot can put you there. So
That's an extremely small dot to look at, even 20 yards downrange. You can see Paige, who's been in archery since she's, what, maybe 5 years old?
yeah,
The release on that. Of course, the young Alexis Ruiz, who really stormed onto the scene 2019. World #1. So, Rio, we're looking at the bottom of your screen. You can see Alexis Ruiz 10-10-9 for 29, Paige Pierce all 10s for 30. How deep into this match are we going?
that's gonna be. I mean, it can go with the 5 ends. You're gonna end up with 15 arrows. 3 arrows per end. It's a pretty good match. It'll be like I said. The first one is just the nerves to get out of your way. It's like putting your foot in the water and it's cold and you're like, either it's gonna be good or it's gonna be bad. She comes back good with a 10. That's a huge kind of. People don't realize if you make a miss, if it can eat on you or not. And she put it back in, and that's a good sign. Shot's taking a little longer.
There is a shot clock. 20 seconds to execute the shot. So Paige was able to hold on to that one and get it done. So this is end #2 if you're new to archery. Alexis gets it. She won that release.
She didn't look as excited about it. It didn't, but it's solid. It's a good arrow.
If you're new to archery, each time we score a set of arrows, it's called an end.
Oh, Paige's might be out just a little low.
Yeah, the middle target.
So that gives a chance for Alexis to get back to equal, and she takes advantage of it. And so now we're back to even. And so Paige has got to. We'll see if she regroups and puts this one in the middle or not. This is one of the hardest things after that is getting it out of your mind and going on and putting it back in the middle. You can see the nerves are getting to her a little bit. Oh, that's a big door. You don't see that very often indoors to end up in the red with a compound. It's just a different thing, but that gives Alexis a 2-point advantage going in a huge swing. If that arrow's out, if that #2's out.
Yeah. All right, but Paige has been here many times.
Yep.
And she's had incredible success, but also sometimes these happen. Here's a look at the release.
Yeah, she almost went forward a little bit on it.
That's 8 ring, solid 8 ring. If it was just over to the left a little bit and even caught that line that defines the yellow ring, it would have been the higher value. Right part of your screen, by the way, is Cassidy Cox, who wrapped up our bronze medal a little while ago. So congratulations to Cassidy. Jace Boyles of 3D archery fame is working with Alexis Ruiz. So it's a family here in archery, as we are 2 ends into the 2020 USA Archery Indoor National Final competition to decide your national champion.
Well, the look of the scores, that one of Paige's was out, so it gives her a 57-59. So Alexis now has a 2-point lead, and it's going to be a hill for Paige to fight her way back in. She's going to have to shoot real solid and just put the pressure back on Alexis.
Yeah, you would have to think at this point, with 3 ends of competition to go, that Paige has no option. She's got to hit every single 10.
Yeah, and the cool part is with the World Archery rules that they've done nowadays, that Paige, by trailing, now shoots first. So that it puts the pressure on Alexis if she puts one in. So it's kind of it's a neat format that kind of leads to a way to try and put matches closer.
Ooh,
and so
it's close.
Yeah, and at the angle, it's hard to call. And Paige is back at it. I mean,
yep.
She's putting the pressure on. That's what the system's set up to do. And watching her do it, it makes it hard when now it's your turn to try and do it. Alexis does it. That first one's close. It's really going to be could be down to a judge call. Solid.
Good shot. So
Good comeback.
Alexis Ruiz now, who's currently enrolled in Grand Canyon University, senior majoring in nursing.
Oh, she got it.
She did get it. 10 years shooting. She started in the NASP program.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the National Archery Scholastic Program.
I'm not sure the exact breakdown.
National Archery in School Program.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. So that's a program nationwide where students can get into archery, oftentimes through their local schools.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because they do it when you're at Vegas, and I mean, the kids get screaming and yelling, and it's
yeah, they do.
It's a thing. It's fun. So
Alexis Ruiz, of course, your 2018 Vegas winner, talking about one of the largest tournaments in the world. That Vegas tournament that's actually put on by the NFA, which is we're in the NFA Easton Center. You know, they talk about the size of that tournament, 3,500 plus archers. But here in USA Archery, because the USA Archery Indoor National Championship happens in those 13 different cities around the United States, you're talking in excess of 3,000 archers competed. 3,043 competed in compound men and women, recurve men and women, and in the barebow open. So 3,043 competitors this year that scored arrows. That's a pretty large tournament.
It's huge, and the cool part about it is it gets people exposed to it. It's a nice thing for the regional area, and it gets just a lot of people out shooting arrows, and I think it's awesome. They do. It's a good system. And then you got to earn your way out of those 3,000 to be one of the top 8 to come here. It's so close.
All right, so end 4. Alexis Ruiz did drop that point, so Paige is now 1 point behind. And it's on Pearce to just continue to hit that middle.
That one's there. Close, but it looks solid.
Let's talk about the diameter of the arrows, Rio.
They're 9mm. Easton size is 23. They limit that just to make it a little tougher for people to shoot that little 10 ring. Not that it's hard enough anyway, but they go right in there, and it's interesting how that the size can really change. I mean, we watched a little bit of World Archery this year with their knockdown thing this winter, and they shot little arrows, and it really can make a difference in how hard it is to hit that little 10.
These two archers now just going toe to toe.
Yeah, and I think they're like I said, getting their feet wet at first just got them a little amped up, and they're finally starting to settle into it and just let it roll. Yeah.
Caught the top of the 10.
Yep. Paige's got a little different stabilizer setup, I'm noticing. Instead of having the 2 V-bars at the side, she's rolling 1. And Alexis finishes that solid.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to head into the final end of competition with a 1-point lead from Alexis Ruiz. Our judge will head down and have a look for official scoring. And then the agents, who we showed you earlier, will tend to the arrows. That way the archers can, which is really unique in a final situation, isn't it, Rio? Because when you do get here, it's all of a sudden when you get to the gold medal match, you're a little pampered. Because when we shoot archery, this is not the case. You're always managing your own stuff. You're walking out with the target. You score as a group. You know, you've got to figure it out in fairness in a group and scoring arrows. And yeah, this is kind of a treat for some of these archers that get to the gold medal match.
Plus, you also got to find a good person to go down and do that for you, that you can trust to pull your arrows and make the calls, and you know what I mean, because you have some that are close, and it's got to be good, someone you can trust to get the arrow called or, you know, fight for it in a way.
So the pride of New Mexico, Cassidy Cox, flips the scoreboards, and as we see from our vantage point, as the archers step to the line, it is confirmed at 118 to 117, just like at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching it from your third screen device, like a small cell phone, we'll keep you updated there. So last end, it was 30s across the board. Here we go, end number 5.
And Paige Leadoff gets to put the pressure on. It'll be an interesting one to see if she does and how they handle it, or if she doesn't and opens the door. She looks solid. A lot more solid than she did earlier. And again, like I said, a lot of that has to do with her, you know, getting her feet wet and being just more relaxed and into it. A little nerve, you can see it in the arm.
Yeah, it's a long hold.
Well, that one's close, and the nice part for her is there's an arrow hole there. Makes it hard to call in or out, so you know you get a little bit of benefit of the doubt in that. And Paige stuffs another one right in there.
And of course, these archers have coaches in the box, and they will be the one, the coach will be the one indicating to the archer as the clock winds down. That was a quick release. That was
and that one should be out low.
Yeah, that was a quick one. Now, we noticed that Paige wraps her thumb around that barrel. What kind of release is that mechanically? What type of release?
It's a trigger release. The thumb sets it off as she pulls. Her hand kind of closes and sets it off. So, you know, it's just a different way. And Alexis has a hinge, and so as the hinge rotates on there, it sets off. It's on a half moon.
All right, Rio. Look, there's a possibility right now that we're going to a tie. So, what determines a tiebreaker?
The total score. I mean, Alexis right now has 2 arrows that are close. You don't know what they're going to call them. So this is one of the hardest things is like the nerves, you know, because you're depending on a judge to tell you whether they're in or out. But by the looks of it, you know, by what they're calling, it looks like it could be a tie or a 1-point win for Paige. So if you're in Paige's shoes, you're hoping for the tie, you're hoping for the win, and it's all up to the judges. And usually what's good if you have a good agent, they'll give you a little tip by a thumbs up or something. But because this is the most nerve-wracking part of archery, because you have no control over it at all. And you can see it in Paige. She's just thinking, and Alexis is even like, you know,
Yeah, as they take a look down, there you go. You have.
I mean, that's like I said, that was the one that's close, and it's a tough one to call where there's an arrow hole there.
They're on target number 1, looking at Alexis Ruiz's top arrow, and Brian is having a good close look at that. And of course, as a judge, he has no favorites. He's just trying to make that arrow come.
And like I said, again, look, you can even see the 10 lines rolled in. It's a tough one to call, and that's a hard part in archery because the targets do get shot up. My feeling says they called it out because her agent's looking at it, and he's like, eh. So we got to wait to see what the results are.
We do have a judge.
Oh, across the bottom, it's showing that Paige wins by 1. I don't know if that's official yet. Or
yes, it is. So when it's all said and done, after the judges call, a huge swing on the final end of competition, and your gold medal winner is Paige Pierce.
Well, the comeback, that was a good match, really good.
Really good match. Boy, these 2 athletes just duked it out. And boy, for Paige, I don't think I've ever seen someone in a gold medal match in compound shoot an 8 and still get the victory.
No.
So great job for Paige Pierce.
That's a really true. I hadn't thought about it in that way, but I mean, putting that 8 in and coming back, that's a confidence. That's a lot of things.
So we're going to get a chance to put a headset on Paige Pierce and get some comments from her because that was quite the match. Well, Paige, can you hear me right now? I hear you. All right, let's get Paige's mic opened up. And I have some questions for you, Paige. Let's talk about that match. That was pretty incredible. What were you thinking after that arrow landed in the 8 ring?
So honestly, I felt like I shot so good out there. I just ran out of time. And anyone that's watched me shoot knows I'm not a good puncher. Like, I don't shoot like that. And I heard 2, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to punch this. And that's what happens when you shoot back tension and punch. But other than that, it felt so good.
Well, yeah, because really you just had to shoot perfect all the way to the end, didn't you?
Yeah, basically.
All right, so very interesting week of shooting here. How does this rank in terms of victories for you? Gold medal for the 2020 USA Archery Indoor National Final.
This one means a lot to me, only because since this started, I haven't lost this event yet. So obviously when you go out here, I think this is the 4th year it's happened, 3rd or 4th year, that's in your head. So honestly, I executed my game plan really well, except 1 arrow. And I'm just glad I got it off, but the rest was good.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, take care. So Paige Pierce, your gold medal winner. Don't go anywhere. There is more on deck coming at you from the 2020 USA Archery Indoor National Final.
Announcing the new patent-pending Carboflex Stabilizers. A biocomposite blend of carbon and flax. Flax plant yields a natural fiber with very advanced properties. Flax offers 3 times the vibration dampening of glass and 20% more than carbon. Natural composites are up to 15% lower weight than carbon fiber. TrueBall Excel. We make archery better.
If you're punching the clock between punching tags, chances are you know a thing or 2 about hard work. Because when you put in the time, you better get your money's worth. Boom! A new Hoyt Nitrix. This thing is tough as nails, and at 4.1 pounds, it's lighter than most Chihuahuas. And oh yeah, it also slings an air at 333 feet per second. It never gives an inch. It'll go against anything, Cape buffalo, white-tailed deer, elk, or snapping turtle, it don't matter. You want a bow you can drag through the mud and trust in your tree stand come bow season? This is your freezer-filling, tag-punching, season-saving, all-around go-to bow. And only your Hoyt dealers got it. This is the Hoyt Nitrix.
One chance, one moment, one shot.